think you should.
All right, good morning, guys. Hope you guys are having a fantastic morning and ready to rock and roll. We got some good stuff moving this morning. So today, about the same as yesterday. You know, the market, we didn't get that gap down overnight. We didn't get reset. So we are pretty extended still off the 5 on SPY. The Qs are pulling a little bit here, and the 5 is a little bit closer on the Qs. By the time we open, it's probably going to be up towards about 281, 281.50, right around there. Kind of right in this area right here. So we are, we're pulling down towards the 5 on the Q. So we're trying to reset here. The SPY is still pretty well extended off. The 5 by the time we open is probably going to be about 340.50 or so. So what I would like to see on the market out of the open is a nice big flush. If we could get a nice big flush out of the open on the market, then we could reset ourselves. Maybe not today, but it's going to reset ourselves for tomorrow. Now, if we can get that reset, then we can trend for the rest of the week, and we'll be good. We can continue pushing higher. But the longer that we don't pull and reset, the longer we're just going to sit up here and chop. We need that reset in order to get a trending market. Otherwise, we're just going to sit up here and chop around and chop. So today, like I said yesterday, if we don't get that flush, you guys can look at like a weekly credit spread. It's just going to chop around. It's not going to do much, okay? So, like I was saying yesterday, with this choppy market, if you get green, if you take a trade, you get green, take your profits. Try not to stick around too much because things are going to chop around along with the market. And so it's just best get in, get out, take your profits, and move on to the next one, okay? So the first one on our list here is UONE. This one's former runner. There's no news on it this morning, but the line in the sand this morning is going to be the 675. It's got a nice pivot level there on the daily. So if we hold under this 675 and we don't pop above it, you can just short it, fade it off. It'll come back down 475, 450 and under. It should just fade off. Now, if we do pop back above this 475 and we hold it, you guys can grab it long. Try taking it long. And see if we can run it back up towards 10, 11, 12. See if we can start getting that volume and that momentum start coming into it. But the line in the sand is going to be this 675 spot. Okay. ALT. So they had preclinical study data come out basically. So line in the sand on this one's going to be 23 pretty much. It's about 2280. 2287, 2288, kind of right in that area. So that's going to be the line in the sand. I think that this news is not going to hold this stock up, but there's been some heavy institutional accumulation going on in this stock. So the news itself is not going to hold the stock up, but it might spark some interest in some of these institutions to continue buying this thing up. So if we do continue to get that institutional buying accumulation coming into this stock, this thing's going to move. So if we hold this 23, I'd like to see a little bit of a pull out of the open back down towards this 23 level. If we can hold that level, watch for the bottoming on it and grab it long. If we start to bounce off there and we start getting that upside momentum, I think we can really run this one. We get it back to 25, 26, 27 possibly today. So this one will be on watch for sure off that 23. It should be a nice dip buy. Let's see, MDT reported earnings. They actually had some pretty good numbers. This reset that we're getting here pre-market, this pull is beautiful. I'm loving it. It's gearing up. It's going to be ready to rip out of the open now that we're not too extended going into the open here. So if this one starts getting bought up out of the open, grab it long. This one's going to get bought up. We'll see it back towards 105, 106, and then from there, let it pull back, consolidate a little bit, let it build a nice flag, and then we can grab it long for the next leg towards 110. Otherwise, if we do get a pull right down here towards 102, start watching the bottoming down here. I think that'll be a great dip buy area on it, right off that 102. HON as well as CRM are replacing a couple stocks. So both of these ones, I would like to see a pull out of the open. Let's see, HON. I would like to see HON right down here, 162.50. From there, I think it'll start getting bought up. Watch for bottoming there. Look for the dip buy. If we break below this 162.50, just kind of let it go. It'll just fade off back down towards 161 and under. But if we hold that 162.50 and we kind of start getting a bounce off there, and we start getting that volume and a little bit of momentum coming into it, watch for the buyers to step in, grab it long. This one should get bought up. Same with CRM, line in the sand. I would love to see it right down here to this 210 level. If we could get a nice little quick pull out of the open, little flush on CRM right down here to this 110, I think that'd be a good spot to start watching the bottoming on it. Grab it long off this 110 area. I think we'll get bought up from there. Otherwise, if we do hold up here, if we do hold and we start breaking this little pre-market downtrend out of the open, you guys can grab it long. This thing's got some room. We got room back up here to this 220. Then from there, I would kind of be done with it. I think it'll get a little bit choppy from there. So if it starts to get bought up, grab it long, run it on up towards that 220, and then top it off and be done with it. Let's see. Best Buy. Looking for a nice fade on this one. Either way, if we start to pull out of the open, either way, we're looking for more downside on it. If we start to pull out of the open, just grab it short, slam it down to 110 and under, and then from there, we do have room a little bit lower back down towards 105. But from there, start watching the bottoming on it and grab it long once the buyers start stepping in, because they did have pretty decent earnings. It's just this thing was bought into so heavily leading into earnings that there's going to be some more profit taking out of the open. So I'd like to get that short, slam it down to 110 and under, then we can start watching the bottoming on it. If we do start to pop out of the open, we pop up here to this 116, 117, top it off up there, and short it. Should be a nice all-day fade back down from there, okay? And PANW, kind of the same thing here. They had earnings beat, but it's been bought into way too much. So, same thing. If we start to show any sort of weakness out of the open, short it, slam it down, bring it down to 250 and under, right down here. Then from there, I think that's a good spot to start watching the bottoming on it and grab it long. I think from there, a lot of institutions are going to start seeing this as a buying opportunity, and they'll start stepping in, start grabbing this one long, start building positions in it. So if this starts to look weak out of the open, starts showing some weakness, short it, slam it down 250 and under. From there, watch bottoming, grab it long. Otherwise, if we start to pop out of the open, we pop right up here towards 264, 265, top it off there, and short it. Should be a nice fade, okay? All right. So those are going to be our notes for today. Let me get set up here.